like Jordans, play me like Spartan, do it all for me. Girl, you're the vision of what I like, and I promise I'll be yours. Tell me your joys and your problems. I'll be more than the man for you. I'll be your friend.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So yes, I am wearing the same shirt because I'm filming part 2 of the video the same night. Part 1 doesn't have that many screenshots and stuff because I did get a new phone, deleted stuff. I told you guys in that another video, but I wanted to reiterate it here. Anything that I mention here will be at all, like there's receipts and screenshots and stuff that will be at the end of the video because it's easier to put it there. I'm still new to this editing thing. But anyway, welcome back. Make sure you stay bold, brave, beautiful. It is currently 4 in the morning because I filmed this video 3 times already and I just didn't like it. I felt like the last time I filmed it, it was an hour and 10 minutes long, and I was like, we can shorten this. Let's shorten this. Let's see if we can try to shorten it. If it's still long, I apologize. I talk a lot. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So where I left off, we did the little boat thing. Our friendship was, weird. He still had 1 more year left at high school, so I still went up there because Lindsay, Camille, Ryan, and Trevor were still in high school, and so I still went to go visit them. That's just it. So I went. They all had different paths they were going to pursue. It's cool. I went up to the school when I could. The first semester, not so much because I was still marching. I was marching color guard still at a university in Azusa. So I was still, I had to drive a lot and I wasn't really around. So first semester I wasn't really around, but I still communicated with them as much as possible. Second semester I communicated with Ryan and Camille all the time, Trevor not so much. We mainly only talked, we talked maybe once a month, and then a bulk of our communication began when it was time to get ready for prom. Other than that, we really didn't talk that much. Just gonna keep it a buck. We didn't really talk that much, but he still was my best friend. He still knew me better than anybody else. He just knew me better. And for me, my best friend isn't just somebody who knows, oh, my favorite color is this color, blah, blah, blah. My best friend is somebody who I feel comfortable with, somebody who I am unapologetically myself all the time. And yeah, so he was that person. Anyway, I go to his graduation. It wasn't just his graduation. I went to their graduation. You guys already heard the prom story time, so I'm not going to even go through that. I went to his graduation, and I met his family. It was cool. We all bonded. We hung out. It was cool. That summer, we were really close. We hung out all the time. It was really cool. Then he started college. And I'm not really going to go into much detail with this, but basically our communication fell off when he was on breaks. We were both on breaks. We were both in college. But when we were on breaks, we were good. When we were in school, we were not good. And it's not like we had beef. It was just like I want to talk. I'm the kind of person who wants to talk to my friends all the time, and he was just busy. And so that's that. This one went on for, I'm gonna say, a year. So like it's 2016, 2017, around the fall semester again. Same old. We would connect. We would hang out when we could. It was whatever. Towards the end of 2017, we would or towards the end of 2016, I had started a new job. I was no longer working by the college I graduated, or the community college I graduated from. I moved to work across the street from my old high school. Or I worked at the mall before that. So I worked at the mall. It was cool, whatever. It was nothing major. It was cool. And then a few months after that, I started working in 2017. I had started working across the street from my old high school and from where Trevin worked. So I was right there. Somehow we reconnected. When you work across the street from people, we both worked at different kinds of stores. I worked at a retail store. He worked at like a grocery store. So sometimes I needed food and vice versa. That's how we reconnected. So we reconnected because we worked together, and that's that on that. I started working at Disney, and so I no longer worked across the street from him, but I knew where he worked. And so where he works happens to be one of my favorite grocery stores, and so I frequented it a lot. And that's cool. So we started hanging out a lot more, just reconnecting, little stuff, but it wasn't like major. It wasn't major hanging out, and at least I don't think it was. Well, okay, so it was like like we were hanging out, but we mainly did it via Snapchat. He's not very social media active. Like, he has all this stuff, but he doesn't really use it. I'm on Snapchat all the time. I'm on Twitter all the time. Like, by the way, follow me. But that's just the fact of the matter. He wasn't really active on social media, so whenever he would answer, that's how we were communicating. And I can see if I still have any old screenshots of our Snap conversations to add later. Whatever. So around going into 2018, maybe a few weeks after the New Year's, somehow we linked up and we hung out. And I don't remember what triggered us to hang out, but while we were hanging out, we got numbers. Because during those 2 years, while we were like hanging out on again, off again, he would do things and it would hurt my feelings, because remember, Lynette had Fifi's at the time, and so I had feelings, so some of the things he did affected me a little bit more. And like at the time, one of my coping mechanisms was deleting his number and whatever, because I knew I had him on other stuff. But now I'm like, that was dumb, because all those receipts are gone because he wanted to be annoying. Anyway, so whatever, we hung out and it was really good hangout, and we got each other's number. After that, we still talked, but like it was mainly on Snapchat. It got closer to his birthday in 2018, and I was like, for me, birthdays are really important because I don't really get to celebrate my birthday. Nobody really remembers it, and so I try to make sure other people don't feel the way I feel. And so it was a couple days before his birthday. I was like, hey, what do you want to do for your, by the way, it's Lynette. And he was like, you're fake, I know who it is, you're the one who deleted my number. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so we were talking. I wrote him this long ass paragraph. I made us like a little video. It was really, really sweet, and whatever. We hung out. It was cool. We kept hanging out after that, and then like he started getting like distant again, and I was like, okay. But mind you, I still work at Disney, and he's getting introduced to my friends and stuff like that from Disney, because we go to Disney a lot. Going to Disney was a huge part of our friendship, and it wasn't just that. Like, we hung out a lot. As you see in the message, we often went to the movies. We very often went to go eat, but we also went to Disney a lot too. And so, yeah, that was that on that. So it was cool. We fell off a little bit. He did not tell me happy birthday that year, and I was pissed because I was like, what the fuck? I always tell you happy birthday, but whatever. And so, but we were still, connected, and like I was still going through the does he like me, does he not like me, blah 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 blah. In 2018, my friend Lindsay had my nephew, and she became my priority, and that was pretty much it. So after she moved to Washington, he became my priority, and we reconnected, and whatever, we hung out all the time. We made sure we told each other like happy holiday, whatever, all that good stuff, and it was cool. 2019 came, and in 2019 we went to Disney, of course. We hung out. And mind you, all these Disney trips, we were cupcaking. All these times we hung out, cupcaking. The only time we didn't really cupcake was when we went to the movies, but sometimes we still did. Like, I don't know, we were just a bunch of cupcakes. Yeah, so 2019 came, and I'm going to get more specific here. So in 2019, it was like we disconnected, but we were still talking. We still talked all the time, and we reconnected. So in January, I was like, hey, do you want to go to Disneyland? All of us are going, like the whole squad is going. Do you want to go? So we go to Disneyland, and it's a really good time, and we're just having a good time. By this point, me and him already have matching tattoos. Like, we're living our best lives. yeah, so we go to Disneyland. We have a good time. He rides with me. It's, you know, it's what it is. We go, we have a good time. Other people are there, and we're still cupcaking. Like, I don't ride Guardians. He was like, okay, I won't ride it with her. And so, like, I was like, I'm gonna go ride with Monsters. Do you want to go? He's like, yes, let's go ride Monsters. If I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, he's like, all right, let's go. Like, we were just very cupcakey. We were very much up under each other all the time. And while we're there, we're having a good time, and everything's, you know, we're all doing good. So we stop and we go eat dinner. And while we're at dinner, the whole group is there, but like, when you have like 7 or 8 people at Disneyland, like, we had to like break up to, we had to secure a table and then break up to go get the food. But me and him, we stayed together. So we go and we go get food and we order, and he was like, I'll pay for this. If we do anything else, you got it. And I was like, cool. So we're going. He was like, hey, so for my birthday, my family wants to go to Vegas. And I was like, that's really cool, because it is his 21st birthday that year. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. I'm excited for you. He was like, do you want to go? And I was like, I was kind of like, I don't know. And like, I just talked to him and I was like, what does it entail? Like, what's going on? And he was basically like, I guess we would share a room and, you know, all this other stuff. And it was just, you know, and I was like, you know what, I'm down. Like, if you want me to go, I will go. And so that was cool. So after we leave to go eat, we went to the Little Mermaid, and like, he like, so I worked at the Little Mermaid, shout out Merms. I worked at the Little Mermaid, and I remember so usually at Mermaid, like, you either get like an all boys staff of like 2 girls, or you get all girls staff of like 1 or 2 boys. And this staff happened to be like the men of Mermaid. And so like, as soon as we got there, I was like, hey, like, how you doing? And like, there's like this one guy, and we always just like flirt with each other, but it was all jokes. And I was in the clamshell with Trevin, and while we were in the clamshell, he reached and grabbed my hand, and I was like, hey, boo. And so we held it, and then like, Trevin was like, and so he took my hand and like went like that and made me lay on him. And I was like, and like, I wasn't uncomfortable. Like, I was super excited, but I was like, what is he doing? Like, what is this? And I was super excited. And then the rest of the group, so we got off Merms, and me and Trevin, well, the whole group, we all rode Zephyr. Me and Trevin sat together, and then like, they wanted to go to Goofy's, so we went to Goofy's, but obviously like, they can't fit 8 people on Goofy's, so we went on Goofy's. And then we went to Swings, and I also know how to work Swings and Zephyr and Jelly, so I went over there. It was all good. We rode Swings, and like, he was trying to hold my hand, but as a former Swings operator, I know that you can't do that. So I was like, no, we're not holding hands. And so we got off of the ride, and like, I don't want to say that other meal was dinner, but like, it was like lunch or something. And we got off the ride, and the rest of the group, we were like trying to figure out where we were going. At this point, the pier's already open, so like, there's options. But the group was like, oh, we want to get on the Ferris wheel. And I was like, who's getting on the Ferris wheel? I'm not getting on no Ferris wheel. And Trevin was like, and like, Trevin likes those things, but I don't like them. And so I'm like, you can go. And so like, we were standing there, and like, they're talking about it, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to go on the Ferris wheel, so like, you guys can go, I'll wait for you. And like, Trevin seemed like he wanted to go with them, and so I was like, yeah, you can go with them. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna leave you alone, And I was like, are you sure? Like, you can go, like, it's not that big of a deal. He didn't want to go, and so I was like, hey, do you want to go check the line for Mania? So we go to Mania, and I knew the guy who was working FastPass, and so Trevin knew him too, because we all went to high school together. And so he was like, yeah, you guys can go, just go ahead. So we go in, we ride Mania, and you know, we're doing there, we're joking and stuff like that. And like, I think he won. No, I won, but I know he let me win, because usually when we play, he wins. So I was like, boy, you let me win, but whatever. So we get off of Mania, and they're still on the Ferris wheel, or I think they were just barely getting on it. And I was like, okay. So we go to the store that's across from the Ferris wheel. We go in there and we're shopping, and he's over there and I'm over here and I'm doing my own thing. And then I bend down, and like a random guy, I don't know who this guy was, he comes up behind me. He's like, oh, do you need help? And then all I feel is Trevin come, and he's like standing behind me. He's like, you got it? Do you need anything else? And he like rubbing on me, and like he's all like in my space, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm chilling. I don't actually want it. I was looking for something for my nephew or whatever. And so yeah, that happened, and I was like, and so I was like so eager to tell Christina. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but like this is what he's doing, and like blah blah. And she was like, big steps, because you've liked this boy for years, like good step. And I was like, yeah, but he's still my best friend, like it's fine. So we go, at this point, we're still in the parks, we're having fun. We go to Racers because we had a fast pass for Racers. Oh wait, no, we went back to Mania because the people who were on the Ferris wheel wanted to go on Mania. And so I asked the guy who let us in the first time, I was like, hey, can you let them in? He was like, yeah, you guys can all go. And so we rode Mania again, and this time me and him just kind of like sitting in the seats, and we like relaxed and everything because we had already played. And I don't know if y'all have ever been on Mania, but I don't know those people who can do it more than once. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey. Anyways, and so whatever, so we leave there, and like they're trying to decide, do they want to go to Incredicoaster, or do we want to go to Racers? I want to go to Racers, but they're like, I don't know. And so as a group, we had fast passes from Racers from earlier, and so we were like, we're just gonna go to Racers. So we go to Racers, and like we're in the line and we're waiting for it, and like Trevin's sitting on top of like the railing, and I'm kind of like across from him like this, and like we're all talking, and like I don't know, we were just talking about like relationships and stuff like that, and it's like the whole group. And I don't know, Trevor's kind of like saying stuff, but I'm like ignoring him but listening, so I can't really repeat what he was saying, but like he was saying stuff, and then he said something along the lines of, it was basically about me, but he like said it so subtly. I was like, and mind you, we have matching tattoos, and so they were talking about it, and they were like, would you get matching tattoos with somebody? And he was like, I mean, technically I already have, but like I will cover this. And I was like, cover it? Ugh. And so I had a whole attitude. I was like, okay, whatever. And I was like, if you don't care, I don't care. He was like, okay, I don't care. And I was like, okay, cover it then, whatever. And then like we were in that line, and he was like poking me, and like he was like, come on, like pulling me, and I was like, no, like I'm over it, leave me alone. Because I was mad he would cover the tattoo that we have, and because I would never cover it. And he was just kind of like, I get it, I shouldn't have said that, whatever. And yeah, so like he apologized, and we rode Racers, and everything was fine because I don't stay mad at him for long. And then we go, and we're off doing our own thing. And then Francis's group of friends wanted to get beignets, but they were trying to go over there and then come back because we had fast passes for Soarin' over heat in DCA. And and I didn't want to walk over there because it's like, why would I walk over there and possibly miss my fast pass when we could just stay here, and if they're late they can ride later, but we can ride the fast passes now. And so me, Trevin, Evan, and Christina, we were waiting, and like Trevin was like, do you want hot chocolate? And then I was like, I'll be your hot chocolate. And he was like, and I was like, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And then I was like, yeah, I'll go get it, like let's go. And then Evan was like, no, I'll get me and Christina, you can get Lynette. And so they went and they got hot chocolate, and while they were gone, me and Christina were talking, and she was like, I think you guys need to talk, I think you guys need to like address like your feelings and stuff. And I was like, ugh, I don't want to do all that, like no ma'am. And so and they came back, and we were talking, and like I don't know, me and Trevin just started cupcaking again. Like we were sitting, so like his legs were like this, and then mine were in between like that, so we were like we were very close, and we were just talking. And then like we got on the subject of eating ass, and it was hilarious. And we ended riding Soaring, and then like the rest of the day was pretty much the same old cupcaking. And then in February, I asked him, hey, do you want to go to the zoo? I'm thinking LA or San Diego. He said, yeah, just let me know what days. I told him what day. I told him what zoo. I told him I would pay for him. The day comes. He told me he already requested it off, so I'm not expecting anything different. I texted him that morning and I was like, hey, I'm getting up, I'm getting dressed. You should too. No response. I got dressed. I drove out there. Mind you, I live in Los Angeles. My friends live in Bellflower, and then he lives past Bellflower in like Garden Grove somewhere. So I texted him and I was like, hey, I'm on my way to pick up Christina. When I get to her house, it'll be 15 minutes till I get to you. No response. And so we're sitting in the car, and I was like, I don't want to drive to Garden Grove and he not be there, or he's not up. Like, that's just annoying. And so I texted him again. I was like, hey, are you going to go? He didn't respond. And so at this point, I don't want to go because I was like, bro, you knew. Like, you knew. And now you're not responding. Bye. And so like that pissed me off. And then that happened. Later on that month, I went to Vegas with Christina and Lindsay because and like the rest of the squad, not Trevin, because it was their birthday. I did invite Trevin, but he didn't want to go because he was going to Vegas for his birthday. And I was like, okay, cool. March comes along, and I'm asking him details about his birthday, but he's not really giving me any. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I just won't go with you. And so while he's gone in Vegas, I go to a party, and at that party, I get really, really drunk. And so I told him, I'm so embarrassed. I was like, I would totally sleep with you. And like, he laughed, and he was kind of like, he laughed, and he was like, yeah, you're drunk. And I was like, it's your birthday, why aren't you drunk? But whatever, it doesn't matter. I think it skips it. Oh, for his birthday, I didn't write him a long ass paragraph because I was taking him to Disney. I was taking him to the Food and Wine Festival, and if you've never been there, it's so much fun. It's at California Adventure, and it's just really fun. So I was like, I'm gonna take you to Food and Wine Festival because you liked the garlic mac and cheese the last time. And so on the day of his birthday, I texted him happy birthday. I sent him a picture of his gift. So I go, I pick him up, and we go to Disney, and we're there, and like, we're holding hands. Well, we're holding pinkies, because I don't really like to hold hands, but we're holding pinkies. Like, he's all up on me, and like, people are asking me, oh, are you together? He's not denying it. I mean, I'm not gonna deny it. I like you, nigga. Like, I'm not gonna deny it. And yeah, and we had like a really good time. We were wearing matching shirts. It was a good time. And yeah, I can't really post pictures because I don't want y'all to see his face. Not because I'm scared or anything, but I don't know, I might post pictures. We'll see. But yeah, and like, we had like a really good time, and it was really fun. And then like the following week, and that's when he went to Vegas and I went to the party. And then like, while I was at the party, I was super drunk. I don't remember any of it, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was super drunk. I don't remember none of it. But you can read your messages, and I was like, yeesh, yikes. And so I got drunk. I guess I told him I wanted to sleep with him, and he laughed it off. He was like, you're really drunk, I hope you didn't drive. And I did not. We ended up sleeping at that party. Well, they slept at the party. I just was waiting for them to sober up so I could go home. And yeah, it was really good. And so like, afterwards, I apologized because I was like, I mean, that was inappropriate. Like, we're best friends, my bad. So I told him I'm sorry. It was cool. March progresses. Early March, or late March, early April, I'm texting him and I'm asking him, hey, do you want to do this? Hey, do you want to do this? Like, stuff like that. I'm not getting no responses. Or if I'm getting responses, it's like, oh, I'm busy, blah, 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 blah. So one particular week, I asked him a question and he didn't respond. And the first day, I was like, he's busy. It's cool, I get it. Day 2, I was like, ain't nobody that busy, but I get it. Day 3, I was like, for real, really? Day 4, I was like, don't fucking talk to me. I'm done. I'm good, love. Enjoy. And so I was like, man, I'm done. I'm cool. Whatever. Leave me alone. And so I texted him like that Friday, and I texted him Friday. By that Wednesday, I was fed up. I was done. Wednesday night, he messaged me and he was like, hey, like, are you busy? I feel like I owe you an apology and blah, and all this stuff. And I was like, I was like, so my friends were like, you should wait. But I was like, no, like, I'm gonna tell him. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the dinner and I'm gonna cuss him out and like, whatever. So we made arrangements to go to dinner, and we go to dinner. And while we're there, we were talking, and he's like, I don't really have an excuse. I was just being like shitty and whatever. And he was like, I wrote you a note to explain it. And like, side note, us writing notes back and forth was our way of communicating with each other. It was the purest form of communication to each other. And yeah, that's just it. So that's why we were writing notes, because that's our purest form of communication. Yeah. He said he wrote me a note, and so we were there, we ate, and I was like, alright, whatever, I'll believe when I see it. We decided to go to the movie, and while we're in the movie, we have them fancy movie theaters, and like they were basically like you could lay flat out, and so we were like cuddling, but not really cuddling. Like we weren't up under each other, but we were like towards each other. I don't know how to explain it. Doesn't matter. So we finished the movie, and we go. We're done. He writes me the note. We're chilling. I cried. I told him thank you. Like, I appreciate your words. It's cool. Fast forward, we're hanging out often. He's being more consistent, and later on in April, we hang out. So there's one week where we hung out like kind of back to back. Like it was like Thursday, Saturday, and then like Tuesday. So on that Thursday we hung out, and while we were going home, he like mentioned that he's been hanging out with a girl, and I was like, what the? Who? Okay, whatever. And I said, whichever girl you're hanging out with, tell her that you're my best friend, so leave it alone. Then the next time we hung out, I told him, hey, do you want to come to squad night on Tuesday, because like squad's gonna hang out, do you want to go? And he was like, oh, I can't, I'm busy. And I was like, huh? And so like that Tuesday I was like, hey, are you gonna come? And he was like, oh, I can't, I have plans with my friend. And I was like, is this friend a girl? And I used the SpongeBob thing, like where he smiled all super big, and he was like, yeah, and like we were talking about it, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just let it go. But then I didn't really want to let it go, and so like I wrote this long thing about how I feel like he's replacing me, and like I feel like he should have waited until I was leaving, and like this girl knows everything about me and I don't know nothing about her. And he's like, that's not how I wanted to tell you, and blah 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 blah, and whatever. And so after that I was like, I just need a few days. And so then like he was like, do you want to hang out on Saturday, like we can talk? And so, or one of us brought it up, it doesn't matter. So Saturday comes and we decide to go to the park, and we were just talking there. And so while we're talking, he made her say like it was nothing, like they were drunk, they slept together, and then just kept doing it. He basically called her a hoe, and then he was like, she's nothing, she's nobody, like whatever. That's what he said out of his own mouth. Fast forward to May, and we're good, we're hanging out, but like it's weird. It's towards my graduation, and I was like, hey, I need to give you the ticket. So we linked up to get the ticket, or it was like around Mother's Day, and I was like, I wrote him a list, and I was, because we hadn't really talked. If I'm keeping it book, we hadn't really talked, and I was like, you know what, I'm tired of waiting for you. And so I wrote him a list, and I was like, tell your mom happy Mother's Day. My graduation is May whatever at 5:30. I have your ticket, so you need to pick it up. And lastly, I miss you. And then he did the same back to me, and like it made me blush or whatever. He was like, we can hang out sometime this week, and I can get the ticket. We plan to hang out. He comes, we get the ticket, and while we're there, he basically tells me that this girl gave him an ultimatum to be her boyfriend. And I was like, wait a minute, you allowed that? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, red flag number 2. And then like red flag number 3 was, he was like, oh, she wants me to meet her parents tomorrow, like we're going to lunch or something. And I was like, you just got with this girl and now you're meeting her parents? Like, it's just weird to me. Comment down below if it's weird for you to meet somebody's parents after only dating them for like a week. Like, that's weird to me. But okay. And so fast forward to graduation. Like, after that, we were talking more. Like, we were being friendly. Like, we had more conversation, but it still wasn't like how it should have been. Fast forward to graduation. That Wednesday, I was like, hey, do you want to hang out? I keep forgetting this. After we had it was weird. So before he told me he had a girlfriend, but after we talked about her, I invited him to come to a party that my friend was throwing. We go to the party. Somebody asked him if I was his girlfriend. He said, he hesitated, and then I was like, no, I'm not. And normally I don't do that. Like, normally we just let people assume what they assume, but that day I was just like, no, we ain't assuming shit. You're not my boyfriend. And whatever. So then after that, that's when we went to go eat, and he told me about his girlfriend. And then fast forward to graduation, the week of graduation, that Wednesday, I was like, hey, do you want to hang out? He was like, oh, I can't, it's Jamie's graduation. Or sorry, I said her name. Oops. It's so-and-so's graduation. I was like, oh, my bad, have fun. The day of my graduation, I was texting him. I was like, hey, make sure you're on time, like, so you can get a good seat or whatever. If you want to sit by my mom, you can do that. I'll let her know that you're coming. He ended up coming late because he was with her parents before my graduation, and I thought that was really messed up because I was like, he wasn't, like, I respect your time, so you should respect my time because this is my celebration. And yeah, he got there. We had a good time. We were talking. After my graduation, we went to dinner, and we had a good time at dinner. Everything was fine. Me and my brother were racing to see who can drink the most adioses without getting messed up. And Trevin has to leave abruptly, so he pays for me and him. And he's like, all right, I'll see you later. And I was like, where are you going? He was like, oh, my girl is outside. That's not what he said, but I don't want to say her name anymore. He was like, my girl's outside. And I was like, oh, interesting. She doesn't respect my time again. Okay. And so that happened, and I was really pissed off because I was like, bro, for real? For real? And whatever. So I ended up going to a party that night, and I had a good time. A couple of days later, I got us cast preview tickets to go to Star Wars before it opened to the public. Like the land in Disneyland. And so we go, and the whole time we're there, he's on his phone and he's talking to her. He didn't enjoy the whole day. He didn't even get to enjoy Star Wars Land because he was like, oh, she's probably gonna be mad because I'm not texting her back. And like, that's what he was on all day. And I was just really fed up. We got in an argument later on in the day because he said I basically forced our friendship, and that if I wouldn't have forced it, we wouldn't have been friends at all. And he just said, he basically said our friendship was forced. And I was like, if it's forced, then like, I'm gonna let you do you. And so after we got in our argument, he's really good at being able to bounce back and like let things go. But like, once he said that, I was like, my whole vibe was killed, and I was like, I'm ready to go. And so we rode maybe a couple more rides, and I'm not gonna put his business out there, but he knew what he was doing. We rode a couple more rides, and I was like, I'm over it, I'm ready to go. You've been on your phone all day, I'm tired, I'm good. Fast forward to June 4th. In between that gap, or in between the time I graduated and that gap, I had been arguing back and forth with my professor about my grade because I should have got an A, and she uploaded my grade as a B. And I was really upset, so I was arguing back and forth with her. But I was talking to my friend Jalen about it, and me and Jalen were like, it's just annoying. And I basically was trying to tell her that I'm really tired of arguing with this lady about my grade. And so I don't remember what I said exactly, but I was like, you know what, I'm tired of fighting for it, I'm gonna just let it go. I think I said something like that, but I accidentally sent it to Trevin instead of Jalen because at that time I was talking to both of them all the time in my messages. And so it got mixed up. On June 5th, 2019, he decided he was basically gonna give up on our friendship, and I didn't like that, and so we started arguing. And then he basically was like, I was like, how you gonna give up on our friendship? Like, we've been through this for 8 years. I've been beside you. I always come back to you, and I say one little thing that wasn't even meant for you, and you immediately cut my friendship off. Like, what is that? And he was like, well, I feel like you're trying to change me, and blah blah blah. It was just a lot. Y'all can read the screenshots of when I posted them behind at the end of the video. And I was just like, what? You're willing to give up on our friendship that fast? And so I basically was like, okay, maybe we just need space from each other. And so then he was like, he didn't respond. And so a month went by, and I sent something to him, and I was like, I just want us to be okay, and whatever that means, like, I'm sorry for the part I played in it. And yeah, he didn't respond. My birthday came, he wrote me a message, and I really appreciated him for that. And I responded. I told him I wasn't, drinking. My birthday kind of was very suckish, and he didn't respond. And then I was moving to my school in August, and so in the early part of August, I was like, hey, I would really like to see you or talk to you before I leave for school. You were supposed to be here for me through this process, and I ended up having to do it alone. And so, like, it would just be really cool to be able to see you before I leave. No response. 2 days before I leave, or I was scheduled to leave, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it go. He still hadn't hit me up. He still hadn't talked to me. The day I left, nothing. And I was like, you know what? Our friendship's done. I'm over it. We're good. So that's how I lost my best friend. The part that hurts the most, and the part that hurts me the most, is I've always been there for him. Always. Through thick and thin. He could treat me so bad, and I would be like, no. Like, he needs time. I'm gonna give him space, and then we're good. I don't know how to articulate this, but like, now I feel abandoned. I feel betrayed. I feel angry, because it's like, bro, I was there for you through everything, and you couldn't even hold me down when you got a girlfriend. And it's like, at the end of the day, she can leave you. She can up and decide, I'm done with this, I can leave you. Not that she will, because he's very submissive to her. Anything that she wills and desires, he does it. But that's what she can do. Meanwhile, I've never folded. I've been 10 toes down for 9 years. And even after we stopped being friends, we stopped talking, I still hold him down. I still hold him in a high regard. And to this day, I will still forgive him. And that's the part that's really fucked up. I don't think I can be his best friend, but I can forgive him. And that's the part that sucks. So like, all I'm gonna say is, our friendship ending, for me, had nothing else. It had nothing to do with any fifis that I had or anything like that, because by the time our friendship ended, the feelings were almost gone. It has everything to do with the fact that he replaced me before I left. He didn't really tell me about her until I questioned him. His behavior didn't adjust. He wasn't acting like he had a girlfriend. And when it was time to fight for me and our friendship, he basically was like, I'm good, love, and joy. And so, I don't know. I probably will have to make another video about healing and stuff, but I reached out to him after that. I reached out to him on, after the new year of 2020, and I was like, hey, I hope you're doing good. Whatever else you're supposed to say, don't remember. And I reached out 2 weeks ago, and I was like, hey, here's my new number. If you ever need anything, this is my number. And I did that because I was like, I don't want him to ever feel like I turned my back on him, which I don't owe him. I don't owe him to have his back, and I don't owe him for him to be able to rely on me when he needs me. But because of the kind of person I am, I know that no matter what, if he ever needs me, I will be there. And I know that he still works at my favorite grocery store, and I have many panic attacks every time I go in there. One for, oh my God, what if I see him? One for oh my God, I did see him. And then one for the disappointment if I didn't see him. And that's frustrating. I don't like going to the movies anymore. I don't really like going to Disney. I have so many things that are attached to him that, and not enough time to replace that. So it hurts. It still hurts. And I'm not gonna cry about it because what's that gonna do? But when I post like the screenshots or whatever, you gonna see like I was there. I was always there. And I think that was a problem. I made myself too available. And so now that he's gone, like I'm fine. I went to school, I made new friends, and I'm fine. It's just moments that it hits me and I'm like, fuck. Or like things happen and I'm like, oh, he would have loved that, or me and him would have laughed about that. It's just stuff like that. Yeah, it's just stuff like that, and that's where it hurts and that's where it sucks, because like, what do you do? What do you do when you lose your first love, like your first love, and your male best friend all in one? What do you do when that person abandons you for somebody they don't really know, for somebody they told you is nobody? What do you do? And if you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I don't know. And yes, I am filming this at 4 something in the morning. Let me see. It is 5:21 in the morning, and I am filming this. I haven't been to sleep because my mind's racing. And yeah, hopefully one day I'll get past it. But every time I think about it, my feelings are hurt. So, who knows? So yeah, I'm gonna end this video now. Remember to stay bold, stay brave, stay beautiful, and stay in your lane. This has been my story time. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on my social medias. I do follow back, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
face. It's a good night, how it smells nice on a pillowcase. And I light all up when I see you walking by. I know that life ain't perfect,